Going back to the church, another risky thing I did with my outraged colleagues, the LGBT group, in the 1990s. The Church of England under George Carey was reiterating the view that homosexuality was a sin and that gay people must repent. As I said, the Archbishop was also actively urging Parliament to vote against gay equality and to maintain legal discrimination. What shocked us is that some of the bishops who were involved were on record as being stridently anti-gay themselves, even though they themselves were secretly gay, and in some cases in active same-sex relations. So we decided that we would out them. We decided we would expose them, not because they were gay and in the closet, but because they were homophobic. They were preaching against homosexuality while being gay themselves. So the target of the campaign was hypocrisy and homophobia, not homosexuality. I've got to say that initially I did not support that campaign. I did not support outing. I was very much against it. But over a period of about 6 months debate within Outrage, I became convinced that what I would call ethical outing of hypocrites and homophobes was justified. And so we went to the General Synod of the Church of England on its opening day in late 1994, and we stood on the steps with placards naming the names of 10 Anglican bishops, with the simple words, "Tell the truth." These bishops always advised us to tell the truth. So we turned the tables. We said, well, you're saying tell the truth. How about you telling the truth about your sexuality? You preach against homosexuality. You collude with a church that is anti-gay. You say that we as gay people must repent. What about you repenting of your false witness? You can imagine the response. I was denounced variously as a gay fascist, a homosexual terrorist, public enemy number one. These are the kinds of things that were thrown at me because we named those bishops. Now we knew before we named them that there would be a backlash. We knew it would be misrepresented, we knew we would be denounced. But we felt for the greater good and for the long-term positive gain, it was important to do this. So our calculation was, yes, we were taking a risk. In the short term, we would suffer great opprobrium, which we did, not just from the church, not just from tabloid newspapers, not just from many conservative politicians, but also from many people in the LGBT community. Many people said the right to privacy is sacrosanct in all circumstances. You must never ever expose a gay person. To which our response was, these bishops have a choice. No one's compelling them to be anti-gay. No one's forcing them to go into public and endorse a homophobic church, to say these ghastly things against gay people. We're not holding a shotgun to their head and saying you must say these things. They're choosing to do it of their own free will. They've made the choice to put themselves in the firing line, and we are simply responding to defend our community. Outing is queer self-defense. It's defending LGBT people against those in power and authority who are causing us harm. And no one can underestimate the psychological damage caused by church leaders and other faith leaders who promote homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia. Within their faith communities, those who are LGBT and their families suffer huge emotional stress and damage as a result of those bigoted opinions disguised and cloaked in religion. So we felt we had to take the flak in order to burst the dam. The upshot was that, as far as I know, none of those bishops ever denied being gay, and none of those bishops ever again made any anti-gay pronouncements. Some of them actually went on record eventually as supporting LGBT people. So that was a huge gain. And then the House of Bishops was due to meet a short time afterwards, and although LGBT issues was not on the agenda, because of the naming of the bishops, it became on the agenda. And the consequence was that as a result, the House of Bishops issued one of its strongest ever condemnations of homophobia. That would have never ever happened if it hadn't been for us naming those bishops. So we had to go through a terrible storm of hatred and vilification. I had thousands of hate messages as a result of that action. And it was very, very tough psychologically and emotionally to deal with. But I felt for the sake of all those people who were victims of those church leaders, that was a price worth paying.